Realistically, it's around the data. Right. That is the real risk. So it's who has possession of that data, because they're looking at having private providers of the system. So the security around that data, and what happens if there's a breach of that data? What do we as motorists have for protection and have for redress when our protection is open to vulnerabilities or is breached?
Yeah, because that data reveals a lot potentially, doesn't it? It shows where you go to shop. It shows who you go and visit. You can kind of build a picture of a person's life from their transportation data.
You can, and that's why that kind of data, and it's again how you download the data, the aggregate or disaggregation of it, or the granularity of it, how much you want to get in. If it was only, it's recorded you doing 1,150 kilometres in the last month, doesn't tell you where you went, except when you went under a toll, or if they do time of use charging, which opens up more kind of things around it. But if it does say you travelled this distance, it'll be interesting to know if you have a dispute how they will fix it. Because we do know that manual speedometers are sometimes adjusted to go slightly slower because they don't want to get parking tickets be the responsibility of the speeding tickets being the manufacturers. So we know different manufacturers put a bias in the odometer. So when you start looking at your manual one and then you get a bill for a different one, how are they going to solve that? There's a lot of work coming up. The Minister hopes to get the legislation done by mid next year and have officials come back to him in 2027 and telling him the progress in the market, what can be provided. I don't see this happening in the next 2 years. In fact, I would be at a stretch to see it happening before the end of the decade, if not longer.
Oh, end of the decade, if not longer. Okay, well, that's a stretch.
Yeah, look, you think about it. You've got to set up systems to collect data on 4.5 million vehicles. You have to put transponders. Let's just say it's only $2 million. So you've got to have every one of those vehicles go into a shop or some way of doing it to get it fitted. So you then think of that supply chain of vehicles going through all those workshops, getting the stuff done. Then you've got to have kind of a flick over. Then you've got remote areas about how you're going to download this information. Are they going to do it off phone apps? I mean, there is just a bunch of work. And then all the things that we talked about today. How do we manage our security? How do we manage our data? Is it going to be loaded up to the cloud? Is it going to be kept in a secure area? I mean, there is a lot of work to be done on this.